Have you ever had a moment where a brilliant idea flashes through your mind? So sharp, so clear, that you say to yourself, I'll remember this one. This is genius. But then, half an hour later, it's gone. Like it never even existed. That's the mystery of the mind. It can give you brilliance in one moment and take it back just as quickly. Ideas are like whispers. They're gifts that come without warning, and they don't stick around waiting for you to be ready. They appear, and if you don't capture them, they disappear. And here's the painful truth. Some of those lost ideas could have changed everything. They could have been the seed that transformed your business, your health, your relationships, your entire future. But because you didn't write it down, it vanished. Life doesn't always shout its opportunities. Sometimes, it speaks in a single word overheard in a conversation, a sentence in a book, or a quiet moment of reflection. And the person who learns to catch those moments, who holds them, writes them, and revisits them, that's the person who rises. That's the person who builds wealth, wisdom, and a future. But most people miss it. Why? Because they treat ideas as casual. They think, if it's important, I'll remember it. But the human mind is busy. It's juggling bills, chores, stress, and distractions. An idea drifts through like a feather in the wind. If you don't reach out and catch it, the wind carries it away. And tomorrow, all you'll remember is that faint feeling. You almost had something good. I was broke when I first met my mentor, Mr. Schoaf. Lost, unsure, but hungry to change. He didn't tell me to wait until I was rich. He told me, start capturing ideas now. So I did. I bought a small notebook for less than $1, and that little book became the beginning of my library. Over time, I filled journals, notes from books, seminars, and my own thoughts. And sometimes months later, I'd read a single line I'd written and realize it was the answer I'd been searching for. You see, ideas don't always reveal their value right away. Some need time to mature, like seeds stored in a jar, waiting for the right season to be planted. But if you never save the seeds, you'll have nothing to grow when the time comes. Most people don't live ordinary lives because they lack intelligence or opportunity. They live ordinary lives because they never capture what life gives them. Imagine what your life would look like today if you had written down every meaningful idea, every spark of inspiration, every insight from the past 10 years. What would that collection look like? You can't change the past, but you can start now. Ideas don't belong to the thinker. They belong to the catcher. The one who catches it, uses it, refines it. That's the one who wins. Now, capturing ideas isn't just about notebooks and pens. It's about philosophy. It's about how much you value the invisible and the intangible. When I was a boy growing up in Idaho, we didn't have much. My father taught me how to work hard, but not how to build wealth. Then I met a man who changed my entire outlook. Earl Schoaf. He looked successful, spoke with purpose, and lived with intention. When I asked him how he did it, he said something that surprised me. It started with how I treated ideas. At first, I didn't understand. I thought success came from money, talent, or luck. But he said, no, success begins with ideas put into action. Money comes later. Talent grows later. Luck may show up, but it all begins with ideas. And he was right. One single idea can change your life. Just one. But the problem is, you never know which one it will be. That's why you capture them all. Some will seem small, others ordinary. But every now and then, one will be extraordinary. And you'll only recognize it if you've saved it. It's like planting a garden. You don't plant one seed and wait. You plant many. Because not all will grow. Some dry up, some get eaten. Some never sprout, but enough of them will. And that's where the harvest comes from. Ideas are the same way. Write enough of them down, and you'll eventually grow your own harvest of success. I remember after one of my seminars, a young man came up to me and said, "Mr. Rohn, I have so many ideas, but I can't seem to do anything with them." I asked him, "Where do you keep them?" He pointed to his head and said, "Up here." And I told him, "No wonder you're empty-handed. Thinking about them isn't enough. That's like holding seeds in your pocket and expecting a garden to grow. The ground doesn't reward your pocket. It rewards what you plant." So I told him to start that very night. "Write them down," I said. Doesn't matter if it's a business idea, a quote, a dream, or a single word. Capture it. Years later, he wrote back. He said that one habit changed everything. He went from wishing to working, from hoping to harvesting. That's the power of philosophy. If you think ideas are cheap, you'll treat them like they are. But if you believe they're priceless, you'll guard them like treasure. And they are treasure, hidden treasure, invisible gold. That's why I always say, a journal is one of the best investments you'll ever make. Not because of the paper or the cover, but because of what you fill it with. I have shelves of journals, some over 40 years old. I can open one, turn to a page, and relive the exact moment that thought first came alive. And let me tell you, that's worth more than gold. Because gold, you can spend once, but an idea, you can spend it again and again. And as time passes, memory fades. No matter how sharp you are, details slip away. But when you've written them down, you've preserved them. And preserved ideas become building blocks. Every invention that shaped history began the same way, with someone who captured an idea. The light bulb, the airplane, the telephone, all of them started with a note, a sketch, or a scribble. Imagine if they had said, "I'll remember it later." The world would be darker, quieter, slower. You may not invent flight or electricity, but you can invent a new way of living, a new way of earning, a new way of leading your life. And it all begins with this one discipline, catching ideas. Treat them with respect. Write them down. Because it's not the size of the idea that matters. It's the act of capturing it. That act alone tells the universe and your own mind, I'm ready. I'm serious. I am a collector of treasure. And once you've learned how to capture, the next question becomes, what do you do with what you've caught? Because collecting is only the beginning. The real transformation happens when you review, reflect, and apply. You know, it's not enough to just capture ideas. You have to revisit them. Don't just fill your journal and let it gather dust on a shelf. Set aside one quiet evening a week, open it, and flip through the pages. Not to criticize, not to judge, just to see what's there. Because something that seemed ordinary on Monday might shine like gold by Friday. Ideas don't always announce their importance right away. They grow quietly, waiting for the right moment to reveal their worth. And they don't come from books alone. They come from life, from conversations, from observing people, from long walks and silent reflection. Sometimes, the most life-changing thought arrives when you're simply walking through a park. That's why I always say, take your journal with you everywhere. Take it to dinner. Take it on vacation. People used to laugh when they saw me pull out a notebook in a restaurant. But years later, when the results started showing, nobody was laughing anymore. Because success always follows discipline. And discipline, my friends, is the bridge between capturing ideas and living them. It's not enough to say, I'll write it down someday. Someday is too slippery. When an idea comes, stop. Write it down, even if it's just one word. Because that one word can bring the whole idea back later. Don't trust your memory. Trust the ink. And here's how to multiply the power of your captured ideas. Share them. Don't keep them locked up. Tell your children. Tell your colleagues. Tell your team. Because when you share, you clarify. And when you clarify, you understand more deeply. Sometimes, I didn't even realize how much I believed in something until I heard myself teaching it. But remember this, you can't share what you haven't caught. You can't pass along what you never saved.